Sweet kiss, how I live. Never go along. You take it from Peter today, Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. Sweet, sweet, living is sweet, oh, whether rich or poor. Why not pray for a long fellow? He can pray for a long life. As long as they live, you know, the better we grow. Fine, power is fine, oh, it can make you heavy. It's just like a brook, you know, it's way to capsize. Sweet, sweet kiss, how I live, oh, not for go alone. You might be can eat it, or a picture can eat it. Kiss, how I live, kiss, how I live, oh, sweet kiss, how I live, oh. Not for go alone. You take it from Peter today, oh, Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. You take it from Mary today, oh, mother will take it from you tomorrow. Fine, go by your fine, may in your favor. Well, people do to you, you dare to cry. Had enough for one person, oh, it's a matter of time. Our time is a lesson, yeah, brother, this I have. Sweet, sweet kiss, how I live, oh, not for go alone, mama. Human being can eat it, oh, the deer can eat it. Good, how I live, oh. Sweet kiss, how I live, oh, not for go alone. Human beings can eat it, or a creature eat it too. Sweet, sweet, living is sweet, oh, whether rich or poor. Why not pray for a long fellow? He can pray for long life. As long as they're living, the better we grow. You take it from Mary today, oh, Mary will take it from you tomorrow, mama. Hey, you take it from Peter today, oh, Paul will take it from you tomorrow. Fine, power is fine, oh, it can make you heavy. Looking like a crook, you know, a way to capsize. Kesawalia, Kesawalia, mama, no for go alone. Why not pray for long fellow? He always pray for long life. As long as they're living, the better we grow, my people. Sweet, sweet, Kesawalia, no for go alone. That's enough for one person, oh, it's a matter of time, papa. Our time is a lesson, yeah, brother, this I had. I'm about away, never where my way gone. Beat up in your woe, I'm about away, papa, yeah. our liver. Now for go along. You take it from Peter today, Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. Sweet, sweet, living is sweet, oh, whether rich or poor. Boy, don't pray for long fellow, he can pray for long life. As long as they live, you know, the better we grow. Fine, power is fine, oh, it can make you heavy. It's just like a brook, you know, it way to capsize. Sweet, sweet, kiss our liver. No for go alone. Him a big can eat it, or a picture can eat it. Kiss our oh, sweet kiss our oh. No for go alone. You take it from Peter today, or Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. You take it from me right today, or mother will take it from you tomorrow. Fine, oh, by your fine, may in your favor. Well, people do to you, you dare to cry. Hard enough for one person, oh, it's a matter of time. Hard time is a lesson, yeah, brother, this I have. Sweet kiss our liver, not for go alone, mama. Him a big can eat it, oh, the deer can eat it. Kiss our liver.
And so, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on location and where you're watching us from this time. We'd like to welcome you, Vic Sibling, to the HITAL program here on BKS TV. On the HITAL, we say dialogue and not confrontation. We say words and not bullets. In today's edition of the show, we're going to be hosting Mr. Eddie Fangalo. Mr. Eddie Fangalo is a public health expert. He's also a son of Nima County. Tonight, our discussion will center around health assessment of the mining activities in the concession communities in Nima County. So we're going to be discussing all of the issues, all of the issues surrounding ArcelorMittal, how they've been operating in Nima, what have been the assessment done to the waters, what have been some of the health risks the people have in the affected communities, and maybe a recommendation to them too as well. So tonight is going to be a fascinating show. Tonight is going to be a really, really good show. So if you're just joining us, again, we'd like to welcome all of you to the show this evening. My name is Johnny Opin, your regular host of the show. As always, on the HITAL, we say dialogue and not confrontation. We say words and not bullet. Let's bring you some developments in Liberia today. Before we come to you, those of you watching us, please do us a little due diligence by telling us where you're watching us from. And let's recognize you on the show here, Big Ceiling. G. Spencer's Menti is following us from Monrovia. Spencer's, welcome to the show. Vic Sibling. Spencer says from Florley Town, Nima County. Spencer's, good evening and welcome to the show, man. District 5, brother. Ambassador Joe Dwyer is also watching the show this evening. Ambassador, welcome to the show. Ambassador Frederick Wadi Zina Jr., welcome to the show. Our CEO himself, too, is also following. But again, in Liberia, the trial judges sound alerts over appointment of unqualified magistrates. This is a breaking development. The National Association of Trial Judges of Liberia has raised serious concern over a recent judicial appointment that placed individuals without formal legal training or certification into magistrate position across the country. In a formal communication to the Chief Justice Yamin Kwekwe Gbaise Sr., the National Trial Judges of Liberia, President George Nancy Fina, Summit preside the Supreme Court earlier stance encouraging law students to pursue legal education with the promise of future George Shapes. However, she warned that this process is being undermined by the appointment that bypassed both the Louis Arthur Grant School of Law and the James A. Pierre Judicial Training Institute. The George Summit emphasized that the JI was established to ensure professional recruitment and training of magistrates. If appointments can bypass the legal recruitment, the training process, she asked, then what becomes of the necessity and credibility of the law school and the Judicial Institute? And those presently undergoing legal training are calling to her to support is concerned. The National Trial Judges of Liberia listed several individuals allegedly appointed as magistrates without graduating from either institution. Right? They mentioned Rufus Keke of Zwale Magistrate Court, Nima County. They also mentioned William Wag Baise of Pingsville Magistrate Court, Monterado. They mentioned Joseph K. Fala of Magistrate Court, Bome County. They mentioned Wida Miller of Ediana Magistrate Court, Grand Bassa County. They also mentioned Aaron Morgan Tokba of Bopolu City Magistrate Court, Bopolu County. They mentioned Jetty Barkley of Combo Magistrate Court, and they also mentioned Akwe Kennedy of Combo Magistrate Court, Bapolu County. They also mentioned Harris M. Boakai of Vanchama City Magistrate Court, Lofa County. Now, these are serious concerns. These are very serious concerns. If you can appoint magistrates that didn't graduate from law school or the person didn't go on any other judicial training, then you put the most credible institution in the country at risk, because these people have no other credibility to preside over a case. And legally, that's fraud. That's a fraud. And I believe that since this letter has been sent to the Chief Justice, there will be something done swiftly. And if this is true, these people must be relieved of their post. In no other way that someone who didn't graduate law school, someone who has no legal training, will be a magistrate, and you expect people to go to that person for cases or to hear cases. In fact, whatever case you preside on, if you are not a legal person, whatever case you preside on, that's fraud. That's fraud. So I don't know how the appointments were done. I don't know whether these people were vetted, but I think the Chief Justice need to do something in regards to this issue. And so today, the issue of the Capitol building arson case is still ongoing. The Criminal Code A denies a motion to suppress evidence in a high-profile Capitol arson case involving former House Speaker Fonati Kofa and several co-defendants. The ruling by Judge Roosevelt Willie clears the way for trial proceeding to continue despite several allegations of torture and sodomy during police interrogation. So just to give you a little update, recently, the defendants put a complaint before the Criminal Court A that they were tortured, they were sodomized in prison, and they were, there were medical examination done on these defendants. And according to the medical report we saw yesterday, the report indicate that there was some torture, but with the issue of sodomy, it was not established because the defendant refused to be checked. And this report was given to the court, the Criminal Code A, but the Criminal Code A said they found no merits in the report. They believe that the report is not credible. So therefore, because the defendants were saying that all of the evidences that were obtained through torture shouldn't be used in the court. So now the court is saying whatever evidence that was obtained from the defendants will be used because the credibility of the medical report is somehow complicated. So they cannot depend on that to suppress any other evidence. And that's That's where we stand currently. But again, today the former speaker of Nadikofa spoke to the media. Another incident too today. Um, Former President George Manuel Weah bedroom got on fire. What led to the fire hasn't been established. From my understanding, the former president said he doesn't want the police nor the Liberian Fire Service to investigate the matter. They need an independent international investigators. So that means they do not trust the Liberian National Police nor the Liberian Fire Service. But again, folks, if you're just joining us, we'd like to welcome all of you to the show. Big brother James W. Matari Sunior watching us this evening. I'm sure he's monitoring from Campley. James, welcome to the show. Jarus Kato Jr., he says, I'm watching live from Loguato border, a proud son of District 5. Welcome to the show this evening, my brother Jarus Kato. How you doing? How is Loguato port of entry, Chief? Eric Wanda is also watching us this evening from Monrovia, Man Bagley community. Eric, good evening. Welcome to the show. How you doing? Stanley Wonle is also watching. Siliki Tori, as always, Siliki is here. Siliki, good evening. Welcome to the show. Timolin Seka is also following this evening. Timolin, welcome to the show. How you doing, sister? And so those of you just joining us, today our guest will be Mr. Eddie Fangalo. Eddie Fangalo is an expert in public health, and we're going to be discussing mental operation areas. Today we're going to be discussing assessment, health assessment, and he will be telling us some of the report, because most of the thing we've been saying mental is polluting the water, mental doesn't have sewage cam, mental is not doing this. So he will be telling us this evening from his health perspective. Elvis M. Davis is also following the show this evening. Elvis, good evening and welcome to the show. Let me go for my brother Shadrach G. Tobe is here. Shadrach, good evening and welcome to the show this evening, my brother.
Good evening, Chief.
How you doing, Chief?
Well, once there's life, there's hope. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How was work today, Chief?
A bit intensive, but we'll always put on our working cap to do what we can do.
Welcome to the show, Chief. Let's hear you.
Yeah, let me firstly greet our followers, out there through Facebook, Radio Land, and whatsoever medium you are using. Thank you for joining us always. Sometimes I sit and think where our problems are coming from. But again, I can think and go back to our history. That Liberia is a self-groomed child. What do that mean? Liberia, was not a colonized. Liberia was not colonized. We are not a colonized nation. But what happened to us in our history? We photocopy a system that we were not able to properly implement and put into place a foundation for the country to lay on. So any house without a solid foundation is about to sink at any time. So we are struggling today because we don't have the foundation of governance. Those who claim themselves to be the educated one at the time were not educated. When you read the history, those guys were slaves. They were not privileged to go to school. They were in the field working as slaves. But when the white American felt tired with them, and it felt that they should leave their country and find a place for them, the only place they found to dump them was this land, this beautiful land called Liberia. And they named Liberia in their own favor, called it the land of liberty. But unfortunately for us, for them to wait and be nurtured, for them to wait and be educated with a governance system that will suit the country for future generation. They rush into life, declaring themselves independent. There is the consequence we are feeling today. If you take that to a personal life for no human being, when you born a child and that child refuses to go through training, or if a child was born without no parental guardians and just walk for themselves into life, they live at their own will and make too many mistakes. And one decision you make, it can damage your entire future.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look into the society of ours today, I know I can say our problem coming from the foundation of our country. Because whatsoever our governance system is a purely American system. But at the time, were we able to govern in our system? No. They saw that patriot in America, and when they were slaves, they just brought it at a less, but they were not fit into the system to build it for a virgin land. And they came, they consider themselves as the only educated one, even suppressed and marginalized the indigenous. That brought series of conflicts into our country. And the foundation is still sinking. To build is difficult. That's why to build a particular system for Liberia, we always struggle. Democracy is for a renowned and educated society that know how to govern democracy. But for Liberia, as an African country, we are feeling the, if someone always talk about, oh, this guy, why is speaking? I'm not speaking against democracy, but for Liberia, we don't have the foundation of a democratic nation, how they call it, a governance system, because what? Everybody is educated in their own way. We don't want to follow system. We don't want to follow procedure. We don't have a set plan for our country as a nation. Like I said last night, I want to show that I think the only way we can make a progress if we can legislate our national plan to say for 30 years from now, the first 6 years, whosoever that takes over, focus on rural and health. If Peter comes tomorrow, focus on agriculture and education. If Mary comes tomorrow, focus on what? Infrastructure, housing for citizens. That's the only way I think we can find a better way out of our governance system to improve as a nation. But with political party manifesto, individual no vision, brother, we got a long way to go. Not even you mentioned children, but generations to come will always face a problem. Thank you so much this evening, brother.
Thank you very much, Shadrach. So our guest is in the back, Mr. Eddie. If you're hearing us, please turn on your camera. Let's bring you on, and let's start the conversation this evening, folks. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Heat Tower here, and today we'll be in conversation with one of Nima County's sons, Eddie Fangalo. Mr. Eddie Fangalo is a public health expert, and tonight our discussion will center around health assessment of mining activities in the concession communities in Nima. So those of you just joining us, would like to welcome all of you to the show, and stay with us, and keep being there, keep sharing the show with somebody, and invite somebody to listen alongside you. Let's welcome Basi Mecca watching us from Bonneville this evening. Basi, welcome. Shadrach Wogan is also following us from San Nicole. Jeffrey Wogbe is also watching us from Foya District, Lufa County. Roslyn Vaughan is also watching us from Van Jaman. Daros Medide Brown also following us from Duporo Community. Lofty Myers is also watching us from Monrovia GSA Road Community. So let's bring on Mr. Eddie Miawe Fangalo. Mr. Eddie, good evening. Welcome to the show this evening. How you doing, Chief?
I'm fine. Good evening, and good evening to the panelists, and also good evening to the citizens of Nima, and also Liberia and the world at large. I'm glad to be here.
It's a pleasure having you on the show this evening. How you
Thank you
doing,
so
man?
much, and I'm fine. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be invited. I've loved and wishing to appear on such a platform, and I also like to appreciate the team on BKS. I think you guys are doing extremely well. I've been following most of the panelists that normally come and what they've been discussing. So I reach out to Sewate to see how I can also make contribution to the platform, also to the people of Nima Library in the world at large. I'm Eddie Mary Fangado. I'm a public expert. I also hail from Nima, and to be specific, District 3 and 4. It's District 3 and 4 because I grew in District 3, and the Pangados are also from District 5, which my father from District 5, Sagitan. But normally say I'm from the two districts because when I was growing up, those two districts were one. Which is we had on a late on I think Pangado was heading that district. That's as a single district. It was later on it changed the district to two. So I'm son of district 3 and 4, and also a proud son of Nima as well. Thank you, over.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you for being here tonight. I mean, you already introduced yourself, but let's get to know who Eddie is. What's your educational background, your working experience before we dive into the heat of the conversation, Chief.
Thank you so much, John. So, like I said, I'm Eddie Pangado. I attended uh, High School up to ninth grade, and then also attended Simiri High School where I graduated in 2007. I then went to Cotton University and graduated in 2012 with BSc Nursing. And I will also admit here that after my graduation, I worked with Justin Fiado Hospital interpreter for 6 months. And I left from there and went to PB, attended the PB anesthetic school. So I was there for 1 year. And when the opportunity for a mental scholarship came, I was among the first batch of individuals who sat the test. It was very competitive. And then I was successful. And then got a scholarship for accelerator. I went to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I think you can see the show me where I earned a master's degree in public health through the sponsorship of accelerator scholarship. I returned to Liberia during the Ebola crisis, and I was part of the Ebola fight. I was assigned in Sinje Kidman for the period. After that, I also went to Grand Chile as a health and training specialist. I also served as assistant in Grand Chile where we were doing case finding of the Ebola, also training community-based organizations on how to identify Ebola. After that, I also worked as a head of research at Center for Library Future. That was headed by Dr. Emmanuel Dodo, the late Dr. Emmanuel Dodo, who was also the human resource head for Exeter Meta. So I was there for up to 4 years. After that, I now got employment with the Ministry of Agriculture as the director for the veterinary epidemiology unit, which deals with animal diseases. That was in 2018. So, out of 2018 up to now, I've been heading that place and coupled with a lot of trainings, I've also been heading the One Health platform. I'm the deputy coordinator for the Liberia One Health platform as well. So, there are a lot of things we've been doing in the country and also globally at large. But I think so far I can give you those details, and then along the way, maybe you'll get to know exactly what are some of the things. But those are the contributions we have made to the society so far. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'd like to welcome to the show, Sewate Zoget Tua. Good evening. Welcome, my brother. Now, if I'm correct, you said you were sponsored by Asylum Mental Liberia to get your master degree. Since you returned, have you been opportune to work with Mental? Have you sending any application to work with them? What was the basis of your study? Was it like you going to study and come back to serve them, or
Okay, so I thought we should keep that, but then we can discuss in maybe shortly because I also want to have another time to discuss that. But there's some of the scholarships we know is a scholarship scheme that is part of the MDA. So we applied back then when it came up newly. That was in 2012, 13, we applied. So we went through the vetting process, and I was successful as one of the candidates on NIMA. So I went to do public health, and those areas were selected by Metal. So we thought that upon our return, we're going to get placement within Metal, but that didn't happen. So I even did a crush course. So meaning I went for 2 years and I have to do my course in 13 months. All right. So I did my research, my coursework and everything in 13 months because I've saw the dying need of the communities, especially when it comes to public health. So after that, I returned, and in the agreement was that we should send our documents over to SML for 2 years. So that is within 2 years, SML should either pick us or the government should pick us. So our documents were settlement up for 2 years while we were left alone to look for job for ourselves. We are over 30, and for which I also have database for 18 that I know that from other counties, including Nima. So we came 2 years, nothing, and then after that, our documents, my documents were returned to me, and I was left to just look for job for myself. Why estimator was also high, but I think we can keep that for another day because when I delve into that, I think it's going to be a long discussion for which we can also bring other guys on board. We have tried to get to other lawmakers, other people, but I think he has lay on deaf ears. But I think what we are really appreciative of is that we're opportune to go on the scholarship. But I think the best thing we were thinking was what do we give back to the community? And that has been my quest to always go and give back to the community. And that was from that point I was able to brave the storm, came back to Liberia, conducted my research right within the concession communities to find out exactly what are the issues the communities are facing. And God so fixed it, I was granted the clearance by Metal, and then I came back and did the research for what we're going to discuss tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, the reason you're here today is for us to discuss, you know, health issues surrounding the Asila Mental concession communities. You being a poly health expert, have you done your own independent assessment? Let's dive into the conversation. If yes, do you care to let us know what have been the assessments so far?
Okay, thank you so much. And what I'm going to talk about is my research work, my master thesis that I conducted since 2014. And this is not just an opinion, but it's a thesis, a research I conducted. So in 2014, 2013, when I went to Ghana, I decided to come back home to conduct my research. And those are things that don't necessarily happen whenever you go out there for studies because people feel that you cannot go by library to do anything. And even Sewate knows when it comes to research, if we go even online to research on Liberia on data, it's something that is very, very difficult. All right. So you cannot get any data. I'm not even talking about Nima County as a whole. So other countries would like for you to conduct research within their countries. Like let's say for East Africa, people say, oh, no, just do research here because the data are available. And we kept boosting the research, we kept developing data for them for which they will use it to even form other opportunities. So for me, I said no, I think there's a need for me to go back to Liberia, specifically Nima County, to conduct my research. Like I said, I went for 13 months. That was 2 years, but I spent 13 months. So I wrote a certain letter telling them my quest to come back and conduct research within the concession communities. I think we know we have 10 concession communities, and that is right in Eastern Nicodemus. So I was granted after back and forth because they felt that why will you come and do a research in the concession community? That's not feasible because this person can unearth things that are happening here and so forth. So we went back and forth. I said there's no need for me to be in Ghana and conduct research in Ghana. Ghana have a lot of data already online. So why can't I go back? The same money activities are in Ghana and the same money activities are also going on in Liberia. So I talked to my supervisors and then they said, okay, yes, you can go. And then they said, Meta, give me the permission to come and conduct the research. So I came And let us know that mining is something that comes with work and also has a lot of adverse effects. We want to get a lot of money from mining, but the damages they cause is something that most of them can be irreversible, because once the lands are degraded, there's no way when the forests are gone, we cannot get it anymore. When the water sources are polluted, we cannot get it anymore. And also, we should also know for mining, you also have migrant workers. That is, people come from all walks of life, all around the world to come in and stay within the communities. So those people that are coming, they are coming with a lot of different diseases. And that's a fact. That's a research I'm talking. So this is an opinion. It's a research I did, and the findings are all here. So in many communities, you see people who coming with HIV, AIDS, some people coming with diabetes, some people coming with even a lot of contagious diseases, HIV, uh, hepatitis, and so forth. And because those people left their family back home, coming to the communities, they whatever condition they are bringing, they are going to transfer that to the community people. It can be the male, it can be the female, and so forth. And also, when it comes to mining, the kind of chemical they use to extract those minerals are things that can also find their way within the water bodies. So once those things find their way within the water bodies, we got the fishes that are there, and the fish too also some of them take chemicals, and then we have arsenic, we have lead, we have cadmium, we have a lot of dangerous chemicals that are always discharged within the water bodies. So the fish too can also absorb the chemicals, and then often it doesn't actually kill most of the fish in the water. So what happens is that if people go to fish, they take the fish, cook them, and eat them. So once they eat the fish, they are directly depositing those chemicals within the system, right? So, and one of the things that also catch my mind when I came back to a certain method to conduct my research was that I saw that almost everyone was giving mineral water bottles. Those who worked there, even including me as a researcher, I was giving a lot of aqua life bottles of water. I mean, baby with a mineral water. I said, but how? Why the concession the workers with the concessions are being given mineral water bottles, but those in Bapa, those in those areas are not privileged to to get those things. Is there something sinister about the water sources that are in the concession areas for which the workers are being given bottled water to drink? So that even giving that been giving that coverage to even really do this research. So I was there at bath with mineral water, bath and drank water, and it was also starting to note that those even who are working with a company use those seawater to sell them. I would tell you for free. In San water is cheaper than in Monrovia. Why? Because they are giving it to the workers. The workers don't know for the reason for which they are giving it to them. They also in turn sell them. People live from Ganta, people live from Standing Code, go and buy the water in trucks and bring that thing in Standing Code. The BB mineral water, I think the sack should be around 350. I'm not missed. I left for a long time. Then 350 or $300. They sell them. So it's like people are not telling the workers themselves that we are giving the water because the water bodies here have issues. So use them, but they are also selling those water and out. Right. So I went, I took 14 water samples. So that is from the 10 communities, I took one water sample each for whatever they're using to drink. I also went to Bapa to water sample from where they used to wash. I went to the old mine, collected water sample. I also went to the keeper, the straight water that is always dirty because that water can never change color. Right. So I took sample for them and I did everything, reserved them, put them in the recommended temperature, and flew them out of here and took them to the Ghana Atomic Center in Accra, Ghana. So what I was looking for was to look at the level of chemicals that within the water bodies. And meaning we talk about heavy metal. So heavy metals are the chemicals that are within the water bodies that can affect him more. Like I said, we got lead, we got cadmium, we have arsenic, and we have mercury. So I said, okay, let me look at this and see. So took the water to the place, and it was even more traumatic because I was on the last flight for Delta Airlines. That at that time Ebola was already in country. So God fix it. I was able to carry the water on the last flight that that left from here. So I took it to Ghana Atomic Center, tested for all the parameters on all the communities as well, and then got to know that most of the communities level of water that even people are using to bath, the one that people are using to drink, are above WHO permissible level, right? So that is in WHO, under WHO, you have certain level of chemical that need to be in the water to drink. But I found out that some of the communities have the, chemicals that were far above the permissible level. And also, we realized that most of the people have been affected by malaria. You know, malaria is something that might be common because once the pub holes are there, once people are also having a different thing in mind, once ever the people leave from there, there's a deep hole left there. So a lot of people also thought that yes, they have attended the hospitals for malaria more than 3 times. We also realized that even the community is even more populated, it's overpopulated because the average household there was about 7 persons in the house. All right. And those are things that come with mining. But our focus tonight will actually be looking at the high level of cadmium, the high level of arsenic, the high level of mercury, and the high level of those things that we're talking about. And mind you, as we go further, I'll let you know that some of those chemicals cause miscarriages, right? It also cause sterility, meaning somebody gets sterile, they cannot even born. When the person is so much as um exposed to it, a lady will not even bear a child. And those are things that people are exposed to. And as a caveat, I'm not linking this to external metal alone because mining took place there before. And I know external metal also did an impact assessment. And that impact assessment should have given it exactly the level of chemicals that Lamco left there even before they came. So when I came back with the result, I gave it to external metal with recommendations, right? That this is a finding and those are the recommendations. And one key thing that I put in the recommendation was that there's a need to bring pipe-borne water in the construction communities. That's key. We have standing put there that have water and sewer. So I told them you can just get a pipe because you cannot dig any well around the construction area to be safe for now, for what we're seeing. So once standing water is far from there and you also have water and sewer there, you can just take the water from there, pass it through the different communities, at least just for the water, people will be safe with kind of what goes into the system. That wasn't ahead to. I also gave it to Wadi Duna at that time on a Wadi Duna. I gave the result to them. I gave it to all the lawmakers that were in the 50 there at that time. That these are the findings. Can you guys insist on a certain matter to do XYZ? This is the findings. I give it to them. Even though they seized my document, I give it to the president. I adhere to it. But unfortunately, I gave the result to the 53rd. They try inviting a senator to go for hearing, for which they even contact them and say, yes, I will come and defend it. Even though they sponsor me, but I think it will be uh very, very wicked. I'll be a wicked person if I don't expose the or I don't tell Nima people this is a finding. Research is power. I'm speaking with this power because this is research. It was an opinion, I'll be afraid. And since 2014, 2015 up to now, we have been on this thing with settlement. And no one can come and say what I'm saying is not true. And I don't have any fear because I have record, I have the evidence, I have everything. But when Wale Duna and other people invited a settlement, they didn't attend. Unfortunately, there was another election period. And most of those who were there, like this guy from addition number 2 at the time, the pharmacist, he called me. I even from published this result as well this report. When they called me, later on they said it was election time, and bulk of them didn't return. Right, almost all of them didn't go back. I had the whole team died. When the MTA renewal came again, I was on the team at the Secretary General um uh to Depuzo, to all the other people that were on the Secretary General, to Sona Gipie. I brought the same thing up. Nyan too was there as well. Alexander Nyan was part of the thing. I brought that. We went from radio station to radio station with the same thing. I said, so this, what I'm saying tonight is not something I just started. I can say almost 10 years I've been on this thing. And for which I know also Except I have said that since I'm the one giving this information out, they are never going to hire me, and for which I'm so grateful. Right? I'm a public health expert, and knowing the effect of something and not saying it is a crime that is punishable under public health. It's even a crime when it comes to you having something or you knowing something and keeping it for which have ended up been carrying me around. So whether the employment, I don't care. The higher thing is I did the name of people, and through the mining company, I was able to have been the first graduate. I was the very first graduate of the Settlement Scholarship. But because of my advocacy, they don't want to flag that. I was the first. People were not able, but I was the very first. Like I said, I did my work in 13 months. And to do my in 13 months, not a joke. Hoping when I come back, I'm going to change some things, but that was a fight. Well, at least the education that I got, I'm still striving from one place to another and so forth. So that dies, and then we talk about that. Nothing has happened, and each time I go to Ikea, I still see the same thing. People giving water to the workers. The workers are not aware of why they're giving them water. They take the water and sell them. I even went up the mine where people are drinking from the water that comes from the mine. One of the workstations I went there, they had a water coming from the mountain, from the hill, coming down, and they had a station, and people were splashing water from it and drinking that. Because if you sell what they give you, why were you you're drinking the same water from the community? And in mining, what I know is that even in job site, before people go to those places, they have to test them to know what condition are they entering with within a mining concession. Because after some years, if you have to do post evaluation, that is, you have to do testing for the person, and the person leaves to show that this person didn't come with this condition, but they are living with this condition. And then if you do that calculation, you know that the person being in a mining company or whatever job, the job caused them to have developed this condition. And that can be a liability on the company for which has not been happening. So there are a lot of things that are been going on and so forth. And publication when we formed Page Africa, we've said this thing over and over. I have appeared or two FM, I appear on a lot of radio stations, but we still see that nothing actually happening, and for which I've come here tonight. But I'll actually maybe like for to have more questions, and then for which I get that. But I think that's the background of the entire research I did, and the findings are there. The water samples I took, other than the results are there. At the end, I also shared. But those things have been published. We're going all over the place. Nothing have been done for which I was targeted to not be employed, and I don't have no issue with that. Thank you so much. So I just want to get some notes, and maybe with questions, I'll get you more. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. I wanted to ask, since when was the last time you ever visited the concession communities?
So I went there. I think like last year I was in a concession community, meaning Yekepa, but I didn't go to the other areas. I went to Yekepa and so forth, but I haven't been able to go to Luke Bay, all the places that I went before. And even I even recommended that those 10 communities I went to collect samples, I should be given an opportunity to go and create awareness. But I was denied. And if you have to speak, going to those places, at times I began so afraid to even go to those places before somebody harm me. Because but me, like I said, this is public health. We have to safeguard the public. And if you look at the water from there, going down, the lower it goes, the lesser the contamination is. So almost every district there is affected. But the most affected communities are the one that are actually around in mine. So I went there about 1 year ago, but I was just the keeper. I just went and passed around and done about that because I don't want to pass in there. Even they have stopped us. They don't want to employ and this and that. But I think I've been actually going to places the Makinto, actually most of the places, Yidikore, even to look better. I went to collect samples now. But I went there for different purposes, another research purpose. I went there for as far as Luke Bay, and also will stop at Camp 4. That one was with some different project. I went to conduct the research with the community dwellers.
So this is now like reopening the advocacy. How prepared are you right now? Because appearing on this platform is like you are reopening the advocacy for Asilaminta to adhere to those research fundings. Now, how prepared are you to put Asilaminta feet to the fire until the right thing is done?
So I think they should go beyond me right now because, like I said, I've done a lot. This is 10 years since I graduated. I've given the platforms on which I've appeared. I've used the 5010 legislation. Nothing happened. I've gone radio talk shows. Nothing has happened. I think it should be beyond me right now because I'm the only person, even doing the MDA renewal where every advocacy group was going to the place. Oh, we go back to like, well, oh, we have meetings. And I brought this thing up. I'm not hurting myself. I brought this thing up. Maybe I know I don't think I'm doing much, but I think there's something I need to blow up. This is a research. Yeah, to just adhere to it. I even wrote this into EPA. And EPA sent people there, and then Temana said it was not associated with them. I said, I'm not saying it's because of you, but if it was there before, that is you are aware of the impact of Lamco, and you are also doing the same thing. No matter what you do, my brother, if you go to Baba, they have, I don't know, they have where they can dump all the chemicals that are coming from whatever. You go, all the trees are dead, but those things still have spinach. Those things, that's why raining season, where they, sorry, I don't know the name, but they get even where they build a concentration where all the chemicals can sit. But the more rain, they can overflow and get into the rivers. How many people know about those things? So get overflowing the chemicals, they can keep themselves, but once it rains, they overflow and get into the river bodies. Right? So I think it's beyond me right now. I've done this for 10 good years. I was deprived of I got employment for where I don't regret anything. I think it's beyond me. At least you have a source of what I can share with you. The entire document is authentic. It's even online. I've published Africa. I've published it more than 3 times. Nothing. I think people are listening, and also I think we all are also here. I think there's a need for us to blow that. But I think I've done more than enough for 10 good years, and nothing has been happening so far. You still see
Thank
people
you.
giving
Mhm.
employees workers. I mean water, and they are still saying the water. They don't know.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And those of you just joining us, would like to welcome all of you to the show. Mana Lorena Donke is here. She's also from the health background, so we'll give her the opportunity to begin with the panelist line of questioning. So, Mana Lorena, welcome. Let's give you the opportunity to at least ask our guests 2 questions on the first round. After you go to Shadrach and Siawate, and we go back for second round of questioning.
Yeah, so because I wasn't here from the onset of the show, so I think we can pass and go to another panelist, and then I can from from their question from his answer, then I can tease out questions.
Okay, great. Shadrach.
I don't want I don't want to sound like Kev Hazan. Smart, intelligent people don't force things to know things when they don't know it.
Shadrach, let's hear you, Chief.
Thank you, Junior. Good evening, Mr. Fangalo.
Women Shadrach.
Yeah, brother. I listened to your explanation. I kind of, yeah, I was just explaining this evening about our country foundation, some of these things. And it didn't start today. It started when we were not born. So, thank you so much for the sacrifices being made in our society, especially during the time of Ebola in our country. That people are very critical, and those of you who are at the front line that survived by the God's grace. So I want to commend you for that. However,
Thank you.
man, uh, first of all, you come with your experience during that critical period of our country where you serve. You serve as one of the health practitioners at that time. Considering our community, with diverse culture and practices in Liberia, and with a poor environment infrastructure across the country, as a health practitioner with experience during Ebola crisis and other places you are working across the country, Grand Leader, Kima, and so forth. What were your experiences at the time and the challenges you face? And what do you think we as a nation to put into place as a mechanism to curtail some of this outbreak in the future that those in authority will take as a recommendation? What can you say to that? Well, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shadrach. So I think this Ebola thing was something that was so new to everyone in the country. People didn't even know how to go about that. And I think you saw a lot of influx of people, international doctors, even the support that came was so huge. So that was something that was so strange and it caught us unaware. But with what you said, the traditional practices, people used to drink water, people used to bathe the dead body and so forth. For now, I can tell you that we are much prepared than before. And that's why you see some of the conditions, some of the diseases that come out, the monkeypox, mpox that you see, and people are not really taking to be healthy. COVID-19 came. It was not like Ebola because we are prepared. People now know that okay, Ebola brought this, so we can do this. People, so I think we are much prepared in case of any other outbreak as compared to that time when Ebola struck. So, but the only thing we can do as recommendation is that it's good that we shouldn't forget all the measures, washing your hands, because washing your hands even goes beyond Ebola. We know even our hand touch our face more than 15 times in even one minute, right? So it's good to wash your hands because the easier way for disease to enter your body through your eyes, through your mouth, through your nose, and through your ears, and then anywhere you have a cut. So with that, I think I can tell you that Liberia is much more prepared than Ebola time. It was so chaotic during Ebola. People lost family members, and I don't want to even go back there because we all know exactly what happened. But I think right now I can tell you that we are prepared. But to us, the leaders, or to people who are in leadership, there is no need for us to say that we can relax it. But hand washing is very key. And anytime there's an outbreak, there's a need to also adhere to health measures. Mpox is in the country now. People are not really afraid of mpox because we know what to do. COVID-19 came, even the death that were going, that people die from people that die from COVID-19 can even reach any number higher because the health system has been strengthened. On anything, we now need to relax more. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. uh, my last question, maybe I may join you to just make a comment in terms of AstraZeneca agricultural operation in the country and across the country, wheresoever they occupy. I think with the research, they should be proud probably to send somebody in, to send somebody for study, and the president went and did a study and came back voluntarily to conduct a research and give you funding. I think the first thing, if they were in the position to do something better for the community, they are money is to take the result, build on it, and do improvement by protecting the community. No, they are man. No, they are operating. Then to see it as maybe I don't know against to see as though being against them or fighting them. For me, I felt somehow when you explain that, like, how would I send a child to school and the child comes about and tells me that I can do XYZ, XYZ? Then I say, oh, instead of embracing you, but then no blocking your no knowledge after spending money, even though it's not that money is our benefit. But they should be proud that one of their scholars who were given opportunity to study in their name have conducted certain research and come with certain finding. The company should be the one to even employ you to be in their space to protect the environment they operate. But to even for up to 10 years plus, and up to present our lawmakers having spoken about that publicly to call a company to put into place mechanism how can they improve the water systems of the community, infrastructure, water, and assume get benefits for the community being affected to improve their living condition in terms of no housing. This is not being done. So where are we as a nation, as a country? Sometimes,
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Yeah. So like Jill said, what I said, I say this thing to go beyond me because, like I said, this is 10 years, and these are just like that. And like you said, they only gave me $5,000 to do the research. You know how I know I already referenced Sawate because he know research. And if I said my dad was sponsoring people to do that research, it'll be thousands of dollars. Even because a research firm will have to charge it, even more than $1 million to do that research, right? But I've tried to put into practice what I learned and not to also waste, because I call that waste. If you count over 30 people that went to school abroad on a seminar scholarship, I can tell you only Eddie Fangaro was able to come back and conduct research that was actually hands-on, that could unveil exactly what's happening in the mining concession. All of my friends did a research in Ghana, Kenya. Even one other guy went to Australia and left there and didn't come back, right? So, like you said, that it is what it is, and this is Liberia. I thought when I gave them the findings, they were even say, okay, I think there's something we can mitigate, right? I didn't just publish it. I gave it to them. It took more than 5 years before I started coming up, because I started feeling guilty. I started feeling very guilty. I said, but I can't be, a public person. Then, so what the essence of doing this? I'm aware, passing people are selling the water, people are drinking. I started publishing in 2017, 2018. That's how I gave it to the lawmakers at the time. And then at that time, the 50 state was already leaving. If you ask just district number 2 lawmaker, I'm forgetting, at the time, he called me. Yeah?
Prince Tokwa.
No, district 3, sorry, district 3. District 3. Sonwabe, yes. I thought Sonwabe was a help, because he was the head of the help. He was a how you call it? He was a health lawmaker in the house. I think he was a chair on health, community health. I went to a house. I showed him that. I said, "There's an issue, and you are ready from that particular community." So I did everything I could, but nothing. So, like you said, that's it. But only $5,000 estimate I give me. And I know the kind of sacrifices I made to just unveil that, and I give it to them. And this is it. Let's do S with recommendations. So it is what it is. Like we said, this is 2014 up to now. It's about 11 years right now, and that's it. So thank you for that. I think, like I said, this is beyond me. I've done all I could with no fear and favor, but yet that's what we are. It's not about me getting employed with a certain method. I don't have interest, but I think that's something that people need to know, and the community people need to know. It's not about coming to say somebody did this, but no money company was there. Before you do anything, you do what called the ESI, that's the environmental impact assessment. So if a company is taking what they can do, environmental impact assessment, and that should give them what they met, at what level the chemical was there, what did you do before even adding on, and they have the ESI report, right? They should have it before they could take one in 2005. They did it before, and they get a result to them. So based on that way you got to do certain things. But I don't know, but this was something that came up, and this is it. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. Sewate, let's hear you now. Your 2 questions, Chief.
Thank you, Gian. Good evening, Eddie.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for letting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. I mean, I think we talked on that before, and you explain, and your deal and how things went. And I mean, in no way, before I even asked my question, it was in no way that you are putting, Mita on the spotlight. It was just, the reality of, of the existence of our people. And for me, it's just discouraging, because even asking questions, it just, because you did a research funny, and all of those questions we should really ask, you are already answered them, because for the fact that you did a research, you submitted it to MITA, and then you also submitted it to lawmakers, because for me, my question was going to be whether you approach, the stakeholders in those extractive industry, extractive sector, like, EPA, Lens Mines, and all of that. But from what I see, though I have not read your document, but from the explanation, but how be it, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation for our country. But what I will encourage you is, at this point where we see our senators are fighting for that, I think Senator Twain to also raise similar point in terms of the environmental impact. So once you have the assessment funding, I think it will be good. We also liaise with him, because that's one of the key points he raised about the issue of the environmental hazard and the effect on our waterways. So with that, I also want to know, what could be the best approach, being used regardless of your research. What different way, what approach can we take different, to reduce those threats, that are involved with our concession areas.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I
So
can
with
maybe
the issue
set
of
model
Central
in
Young,
place that will adapt. Yeah, to adapt.
yeah, thank you. So with the issue of Central Young, yesterday I was at your office in Dupo, sorry, on the Oro. On a Monday, I went there and we had a big discussion. Amy requested us to give me the list of some of the graduates. But his issue was, why can you spend money behind librarians, go to school, came back, you're still hiring, but you cannot hire the people. And you, as a matter, what are those vacancies? What are those special areas that people should go and study? Is the Ministry of Finance putting all vacancies who need an accountant? And then you were affording to go to accountant, you came by, they don't want it, but they still hiring accountant. So the I sent him the list yesterday. So maybe he can pick you up from there. Like for me, I'm not very close to them like that, but I think I'm making yesterday through NS Massey. So what you say, I think one of the things we can do is we need to actually create awareness. And that's one of the recommendations that I made. We have to create awareness that even those that a certain matter is giving the bottled waters to, they shouldn't have them sold. Yes, they shouldn't sell them because that's a reason why. Why you think where you work, people don't get you bottled water, you got to buy it yourself. So the rationale that except matter keep trucking water in the place there, people feel that maybe it's something that is just something that except matter is doing. But yeah, what are the impact assessment? Yeah, what are the impacts of those things? Whether for Lankota or whatever it is. That's why they're giving the water since 2014, they're very consistent with that. So we need to create awareness. And secondly, we also need to actually tell whatever MDA that is coming, whatever project I want to have, let us connect the water from Sanikode to go to the mining communities. That's just the shorter thing we can do. Because no matter how, no matter where you go to dig wells, it's something that you gotta actually text it for the same chemicals I'm talking, because the chemicals have been there for so long, for years. And even without a need to also even maybe test in a hospital that should even be up to date to be able to test those, because like I said, arsenic is something that is very bad. It causes miscarriages. It causes women not to even born. Mercury. Mercury, see, even the mercury that is in the old terminal says Lorena don't know. If somebody saw to say it just remain like that and they come outside, it's something that is very terrible. Lead is something that also called meta degradation. Meta degradation. If it cause people not to even think well, people cannot even comprehend. So there's a need to do a research to know whether those children who are born in the construction community are clever. Because those chemicals can make them to be very dull. So there are a lot of things that are going on there that we need to actually do. But the short term is to actually provide safe drinking water for the people that are there, whether through trucking. They see where they're giving the employees water, they try to give the community members water, safe drinking water for now. And even the water they bath with, the water can get them skin cancer, lead in water, mercury in the water. But have you seen the water that comes from the old man that passes through your keeper? Have you seen that water color change before? I've never seen it. It's always dirty just like that. It's just dirty. And people go and wash their clothes. People go and take bath. People draw that water and carry it to their homes. You see people taking by now water, see what I think. I've seen it now, I stood there. And now one of the things, now I went there, when I had a result, I went there, so I said, no, I think it'll be a crime if I keep this thing to myself and don't say out for yourself and for someone to do something. Children are all bathing that water, that's good big water. It's always brown. Always brown. So I think the first thing is about water, to provide water, and they should have good healthcare facility in that place. Not that people are dying off over there. It cannot just be ordinary things, but it might be some long, and those are chronic diseases. Those things can just kill a young person. It sits in you for long. Even a fish alone, maybe the fish carry for long. The older the fish become, the more the chemicals become, and they endure those things. They don't just die like that. So yeah, I think water will be number one. That water is where rain standing today. How much will it cost for a similar to take the pipe water from there, pass it through the communities? And I'm willing to carry on awareness. If somebody want me to come and present, I'll present to them with the recommendations and so forth. I'm not looking for employment, but I think there's a need to use research. I'm saying this with proud and dignity because wherever they want to carry me, they want to carry something that I carried for more than 10 years ago. But I know what I'm saying, how to find this, even right on my laptop, I have it. And I can reference those things, I can go to the different laboratories that did the test, and I can still get it back. So I think so far that's it for my end. But I think awareness should be one, water should be two. We both talk about the long-term issue about boreholes. If you want to carry boreholes, the water should go more than 100 feet. And then it should be tested also for all the chemicals that are talking about before it's safe for people. But still, how many people are going to be with pump water? People still get creased there. So it's something very difficult, but awareness need to really carry in the communities. People should know why the waters are the way they are. People to know that even fishing or areas are not recommended because the fishes are there are also having the chemicals and we eating the real chemical, and it had a long term effect. That's why even there, I know people say don't hunt there, people say don't fish in there, and there people should even be giving fish pumps where you grow your fish instead of eating fish from the waters. Those are things that happen in other countries. You don't have to fish there. So if you have to teach people agriculture, need to actually be where they come in there where you tell people say, you know what, don't go to the water. Dig display will test the water to know that no chemical in it, no mercury, nothing. You go to poor fish. They start eating the fish from the fish from we taking it from the water as well. So there are a lot of things, except that I listened that time with the recommendation that I had and with the experts they have. It's like a lot of expertise. There are a lot of people. I'm just exposing this one, but there are a lot of people that could just say these are the findings that the students got. But how can we do this? And now we are not talking this thing, But 10 years damage added to the other years that have passed. I don't think we are even going anywhere because I'm just discussing 2014. I was just in school now. It's going 11 years. So those who had it before or those who were born in this time, they're already exposed to this thing. And there's no way easy you can just get rid of it from the system by now. So as the people are born, and the animals are drinking, as the chicken, the goat, the everything, they taking this thing, we are taking it also as human. Even the red deer, the bamboo, the raccoon, all the things that are there that are eating, drinking from the water. We're still hunting them. So it's a very long chain. I don't know when will we be able to break it, but it's not too late.
Thank you. I don't know whether your research, my second question before coming there, I don't know whether your research also covers it, whether it did cover the health facilities within, the concessional areas, not just about, I know we are not just discussing Mita, as a person, but I think they are used as a case study in our region. But my concern is also drawn to the health, their contribution to health, in those concession areas. I want to know those gaps. Hello? You getting me?
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So I was also thinking on because they are not actually going through your research. I would like to get a document at least to have a little idea on that. Also want to the gap that exists in monitoring and responding to the health emergency caused by those concessions, and then we'll also look at the how do we strengthen the environmental and health safeguard in concession agreement, and for which I know with the conversation you are having with Senator Tuayen, those approaches, what was your funding in those areas, and how can we
Okay,
strengthen that, and also
thank you.
the approach from the community. I know you also did a funding or maybe a research on people who also live in the community. What were their responses?
Yes, so we have one of the questions that are focused on disease experienced by, and I would say this is a random. There was a random sampling method, so every community member has the opportunity to have been selected. So this can be generalized. We didn't go from place to, but we did it randomly, and then where we got to know that. So we didn't say this person should go there. So this something can be bright. So some of the diseases that were found that one that malaria, like I said from the beginning, almost 81.6% of the people who responded have experienced malaria before, because we know the place, we know how the area looks. Even diarrhea, because those chemicals or those waterborne diseases, once the water is not safe for drinking, people can get diarrhea, right? And also people complain about skin diseases because you are bathing with the water. Somebody coming with skin rashes, somebody coming with something on their skin because the water is not good for bathing and so forth. People even talk of having TB. People say they have cough. Some people have joint pain. And one of the key things that came from even BAPA, to be specific, was people who were there. They said someone is a long-term thing, but they were saying that they have hypertension. But I think with that one, they need a long-term study. But their issue was that when people blast the rock leave from the mountain and they even drop on their houses while they are sleeping. So at times somebody laying and sleeping, once that thing come and hit their zinc, they will just jump on and then and then it's on it. But at that time, what I noticed was that the hospital was not up to date. The Mental Hospital was not 2014. Just do your check. When I came 2019 or so, I think it was only using one wing. Right. I also went to Look Bay Clinic. So there are a lot of things that happen. I know it has not changed right now. Because even when I saw the hospital they were building to second part there, I just laughed. The new hospital that the seminar took to second part when going to was Ikepa. It's not even something like can we do anything to the people. So there's a need to actually have a focus of maybe a health or the country have should focus mainly on the 10 concession communities when it comes to distribution of mosquito net, giving water guard, water treatment for the people, even doing some skin tests or giving them some treatment for skin diseases. Because if you have the focus on that, the country everything should focus on that place where support from experimental, you can reduce most of those things. But if you just wait that they should go to other experimental hospital or they should even leave and come to you keep standing code also, it won't work. And that's what's stopping those people. And more often when they come into standing code, they are coming there, they have to pay some fees. And that shouldn't be that case. Once you are living in that community, there should be a focus. Because all I know that the water is somehow polluted. Can they put mosquito, never mosquito? Can they people those? And those are all recommendations and are put in categories. Country everything, what country everything should do. It's not matter what should you do. The country administration, what should we do? Everything is outlined within the research, right? But nothing. But I think there's a need to actually have an emergency or a dedicated fund for the 10 communities when it comes to health. Even when it comes to labor, when it comes to everything, there's a need to actually have that dedicated funding or that dedicated area to really focus. Because I know the K-Park hospital is for workers, it's for other people, but I think there's a need to actually have that area dedicated for just people from the affected man communities. And then that can pick up those things, but also need to have a relief service for them. And all those things are outlined in the research. I think that's the way to go for now while we look at the long-term things. But otherwise, I can say we are still far because the children are now born in 2014 when the research came. They are now 11 years old. So whatever they carry now is for life. You cannot flush whatever in the system now just like that, right? You cannot flush it like that. Once the chemical in the system, you cannot flush it like that anymore. So our thinking now should be thinking of how to take even the pregnant women, the water they drink. No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go for because I'm going for it. It's just sat in my heart, and that's why I actually been keeping me advocating. I'm not resting and so forth to actually see. It might not be a settlement, but a settlement is the one day right now. What can we do, Superintendent? If you are listening, you are been places, Tapeta, you are been the lodge at this place. Can we take the money, the SD or the social development fund? Have an emergency fund for this community or to do a further research to actually know the impact, to even take the urine of those who have been living in that community for long and test their urine to see what kind of chemical they are carrying. They even take the hair on their head and test it. Research is something that we need to actually put as part of the county agenda. I think that will be the key thing. Burning roads, even the road people being there, are all public health effects. Because even the rocks, what we call the quota, they leave and get into the waterways. They have different, even the dust that come from the unpaved roads. They cause things. So I think for you guys that get a voice, I can invite them to come. Let's try to make research at one of the pillars under the county. Then we'll know how to unearth some things with evidence, with doable solutions. But just talk without thing, nothing we can do. But with research, we can go into different areas apart from environmental. We can go to different things people are doing, do research. So there's a need to actually put money in research as a county to do a lot of research around. We'll be on top of a lot of people. And wherever we come up with, there'll be a solution that will mitigate that because that's a research. But we just see something face, but they say, oh, let's do this. Let's build Nima Lodge on Letide. Let's do this, let's do that. That's just something that is not evidence based. At the end of the day, we'll just waste money. There'll be no impact to be assessed. But I think everything should be based on research, where we have to have a research pillar under the county, and then we can do a lot of things and then find doable solutions. Because research always answer the questions, and when the questions are answered, it comes with solution. Now, once you take it, things will not be the same.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you so much. Madam Lorena, let's hear you. If you follow the conversation now, you can answer two questions.
Yeah. Good evening to all of you, and good evening, Ellie, and welcome to the show. Thanks for accepting the invite to be our guest today on the show. And
Okay.
for me, I don't have a question for you because I remember when you did a survey, the research. I think what in one of those Nima group you put it in a hot, there was a hoarding and pulling and back and forth. So I really don't have a question for you, but I have a suggestion or I have suggestions for you. Now that we are talking, Arsenal Meta is ticking for another 30 years. And then there's the you can tell that our lawmakers are not in agreement with it. And I just hope that they can be able to lobby at the level of the executive and with their colleagues in the House until Arsenal Meta does the right thing. I would suggest that you present that research work to EPA, to even the executive and even to the caucus, the NEMA caucus, to the county health team. Maybe like just start the whole process over and see what comes out, especially when they are seeking how you call this thing, new extension, because Arsenal Metal bars and the Aqua Lab water for their employees or their staff. So the want me that staff not considering our people are the local, I mean they are contractors from Morovia, their senior management team, and then some that even import water, certain type of water for very high management team members. So they really don't care what happens to the water, in those communities. So because they are not directly affected. But it is you and me that are affected directly or indirectly. So I would just suggest you start the process over, give a copy to the caucus, to EPA, to the county, and even the county administration, maybe and start from a year and see what comes out. Because like you just mentioned about the hospital, that hospital doesn't look like a hospital in the first place. And somebody said yesterday in the chat, in one Nima chat room, that it was approved by the government, the Ministry of Health. So I'm like, I don't know how, whether that print, that's a blueprint in the Ministry of Health, because it doesn't even look like a hospital that should be in the 19th century before I even talk about the 20th. So Arsenal Meta is not ready because maybe they're taking advantage of the time they came, and because we don't have a good investment climate, and then they were just accepting it to be like a pathway to more investment. So they're taking advantage of that until they can just do anything. But I want to say thank you for the courage to do the research, and it's not easy to do such work. But people are not interested in researching Liberia, so they
Exactly.
don't know the questions, research answer, the solutions it bring. So they don't really care. They just want other people that you can get report them. But I would seriously suggest that you start the process over by distributing the copies to relevant
Yeah, I
authority.
think I think
Okay, thank you so much, Sis Lorena. I think that's it for me. If I would still, that's why I really appreciate, you know the panelists or those who have this to really discuss this here because I've been seeing this. But I know that the whole thing now, if this was politics right now, a lot of people will start. Even when I used to go on the radio from 2FM to OKFM, ELBC, I went to those places and I would speak for 1 hour. Nobody has nothing to say because it's not politics. And that's why, I feel that our generation or our even generation to come, they will not be interested in other things that will save their life when it's about politics. So, like you said, I think we'll still restart the process with the help of everyone here. I might not know other people for you. A county authority wants to get to me. Like says, the superintendent call want to get to me. I'm still waiting. I have the research. I did it. It was not something I get a copy. I can explain from start to end whatever happened. Even as a matter of things that I can see exactly what I did in all the documents. I have everything. So that helped to do it. But I think when it helps side, I'm always interested in help. I'm not just a politician. Like you pushing, but I don't really talk politics, but I think health is our concern, and we help while we are living, we can talk about politics. So I agree with you. But I think that I need to linger with the people. But my fear because EPA, one time I presented this thing uh in a forum where EPA was there. They said they invited a senator, and senator said the research I did was not them. I said, but I'm not talking about them, but where the water is contaminated, it's polluted we have a metals. But so be it. I don't know where do they go. And for me, maybe people can receive cash to kill those things. But like we said, I'm just one person who's doing this for the last years and so forth. But who knows? People use this thing to go and negotiate and get what I want to get. But for me, nobody can use me to do that. So I agree. Then there's a need to go beyond, and you can link it with the people, or I can still give it to you. If you ask Sonda GP, she will tell you. If you ask Edesanya, they know. If you ask Depuzo, they know. If you even ask Anthony Myers, we were all part of the group. And I was the secretary general for them when the first MDA issue came. So thank you. Well, to reawaken it, we need the connections, and we'll still get to the point. I will not get tired until maybe one day people will appreciate what I'm doing. Is not about taking job, but I think it's something to just tell people. And the water issue you are talking about, if we're even smart enough as a country, we'll say, but why is it a certain matter is distributing Aqua Life? Since they came into the country, they've been distributing Aqua Life to their workers. Have we start to ask that question? It's glaring. So even with the face value, I can say it's contaminated. It's just that you read into see you need to backing. But if someone was smarter than they're going to sit and say, but why is it that SMNI is trucking Aqua Life into this place? They're not even building the water company there. You get like somebody said, okay, that bill Aqua Life come and build a substation here, but they have not done it. That is even the water on the ground. It's contaminated. They are aware. So Aqua Life got to produce a place way to I call it to Simport Bridge, truck it, carry every time they carry it. And that's something to say Aqua Life can't build here. So Aqua Life said maybe when they check the water, so I said no, we cannot do it because this water has XYZ. It's just common sense. Very common sense that anywhere you see people just point at it and say, you know what, why is it someone now giving worker water? What happens to the community others? And unfortunately, the workers are selling the water and go back to the pump, the hand pump, the water, the river, the stream, and still drinking. So, like you said, yes, I'm willing to start over with your support and with maybe other forums that will be developed. But with help for me, I'm interested in help, even on the topic. If you have help discussions, we can discuss it because I've spent more than 15 years in the health sector, even the agriculture sector, we kind of animal health, I'm also there. So one way that with it, but just link us with that. We can still while the MDA is still going, we can still make that as part. And the recommendations can come into the MDA as you do SYZ to be able to save the next generation. Because most of the people right now in our community, I know we cannot flush those chemicals if they are ingested them out of the body. We just don't having it when we pay, maybe the day go call all of us.
Yeah, Ellie, thank you. I was also, I think it slipped my mind whether you engage the Ministry of Health and what role can they play. And I also, recommend that the civil societies, you also engage them because sometimes, like you said, most time when it's not politics, most of these things are health and threatening to us because when you live before you even do politics, and what is happening to us in Liberia, and like you use Mita as the case study, is a certain. So most of these things to hold, the company feet to the fire because those guys are from the corporate background. Their only thinking is to maximize profit. That's why you see Senator
Exactly.
Twain today. The
Mhm.
argument, is blowing because the only argument people see, you at the end of the day, for example, what is happening, the plan they build there, they say is 1.4 billion, but from
Yeah, yeah.
actual what is even happening from the
Mhm.
assessment according to Senator Twain is even around 250 million. So
Mhm.
there are key assessments that need to be done. So for me, in my mind, with all of these advocacy, the greater responsibility lies, with the government. So that's why the sector that are involved, like the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Mines, civil society, they will also help to, you know, uh, hold the feet of the concession company feet to the fire. Because if we don't do that, the only thing they have to do is to maximize profit. Because if you even ask the company today what profit you're making, they'll tell you nothing. And at the end of the
Mhm.
day, you can't force them because there's no monitoring evaluation policy that is actually in place. So for me, in my mind, we should also go beyond that because even submitting those documents, it requires pressure. So I will also
Mhm.
appreciate that, those civil society and institutions, you get to them, submit those documents, and I can pretty assure that Senator Twain will take step in that, and all of us will work around it to see how we can get it done. Because from all of what you are saying, what I mean, you born your child, you got that aspiration that a child should go to school, and then at the end of the day, the person you say, oh, the person will get dull because of certain chemical they are
Yeah, my
using,
God.
and some
Mhm.
of us we are not even aware of these things because all we
Mhm.
know, we just take water, we drink, and I mean, and those days people, even up to now, there are other people that are still drinking water from the creek. Not everyone.
Mhm.
So I mean, it requires a very serious, study that. So I wanted to know whether the document was submitted to Ministry of Health or what the role to Ministry of Health could play. Because I'm in here, EPA and that of the lawmakers. Whether Ministry of Health took got role to play. Sorry if I'm asking elementary question because I'm not too abreast with the health side. Yeah.
No, 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 no. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. So I agree. So like I said, Sonwabe was the chair on health at the time, and then I give that to Sonwabe. I even gave a CD to the then Enfield boss, Tawa Yenswa. I gave them
Okay.
CD because I put that thing on CD. I gave a CD to Tawa Yenswa. I gave a CDs to Ministry of Health at the time. I gave CDs to a settlement. And I said I gave this into a settlement first until after 5 years. I think when you came, they took our document for 2 years, and then I just getting the finance. So, like since Lavina said, we're gonna restart because I got a lot more like go back to the new because the ones that are changing government got to do that. So I don't know who's a chair for health on NIMBA. I don't know, but I think Ernest is aware. I was in the whole yesterday. Uh, so far, unless there's no person I'm closer. Even naked gay, that naked should be one of the persons from the. I mean, the lawmakers that controls the affected place, which is that's in his area. So I've also done that to him. I've explained to them, but I don't know what else. But we'll keep doing it and so forth. But with the chemical issue, my brother is true. Even me, I didn't know, but people, children, all that door. You see, child, it say A. As soon as they say A, they forget because there are chemicals. Women are becoming barren. Chemicals, some of the chemicals can lead to that. They make them barren, they don't born, and the wife or whoever it is, their husband leaving them because they can't born. And now we are all Africans. So there are a lot of chemicals that what can happen, but I think we'll go beyond, like you said. But I think it's a very sad thing. I will share with you the publication from front page. Also share with you the findings when you go through that and read further on the chemicals. You'll be scared that when you go into the place, you carry your own water bottle with you. That's why you see some people go to a place, they carry their own mineral bottle. They don't want to drink anything because they know exactly what's there. But like I keep saying, the common sense is that why is it as a matter kept importing water for the people They have not built even water plant. The money they're using on that place, they could build their own water plant. But anybody company, is it safe to build water company there? I would say it's not possible. It's glaring with the kind of trucking they do. So that's just the common thing we can tell people, and the awareness should be very to be carried out. In the meantime, let our people be made aware. If we ask Edison, there's no way Edison Young they say, "Eddie, are never getting back to me." But if we talk, they go to Michael Red and oh that man, and he did a research and this and that, and they even talk to for me and care. Right? It's not about the job. I think I appreciate that the NIMA and through the government, I was able to be one of the beneficiaries. And because of me, no one is allowed to even do research in the concession again. All those who going out of country, they've stopped there. They say, "Oh, do your research on sir." And you better you and know when you go on internet, you want to do research. No data on Liberia.
Sure.
No data. So why can't we encourage those who will spend that money behind to go to come and do research in our country? No data. Go check for data you want for Liberia. You will not. You end up improving the country you study in research. You will do research in their community. You can't even speak their dialect. But at the end of the day, you will publish it, and they will be so proud to use that data to get a lot of money. But not Liberia. Liberia is poor when it comes to data. Very, very poor. You will scratch your hair, you will not find any good with data in the place. And because of me now, they say nobody should do research again. And about the EPA, I got the EPA director out there now with I think I called him said he told me I was presenting the thing. He said, "Oh, went to accept." I said, "But that's not true. They did contact me. I did the research." He said, "But I said, man, I said oh, the thing are not there." I said, "No, I'm not saying it's them, but the fact is they made it there. What did they do? Nothing. And they keep adding it on. So since 2005 to now, you know how many discharges? And they get a chemical plant that there that can come and stop. Red to Bapa, and when they collected some of the kind of chemical, and when all the trees are there, what have they done? Nothing. So if you're buying people cocoa, you're buying this, you're buying the areas. So I would say for now, maybe we can talk to the superintendent. Let's carry on awareness. Let the people be able to get water to drink. It will give them plastic or water from the good source for months. Right? We'll give it to them. If it's not feasible, but there's an actual need to actually stop the people, especially the kids, the children that are coming up now. The pregnant women should be our priority. Even the people in the childbearing ages should be our priority. Because if they are not taken care of and they start burning, whatever they got in them will be transferred to the children. The children will come up with their own issues. It go a long way. Another quick thing, it take the chemical living people for a very long time. We on lead, we on cadmium, we on mercury. Just do your own research. I will just read on the 3 chemical cadmium, lead, mercury, and arsenic. We on the 4. Or just go online, you say heavy metals. They will lazy see heavy metals. They will tell you what they do to pregnant women, what they do to children, what they do to children, people of childbearing ages. And even the community there is at risk of STIs. It's obvious. Don't let you keep it alone. You go to Cayman, be careful. Because those people, they get people from Turkey, people from South Africa, people from other countries who coming to work. Those people coming with their own diseases that our girls' children, our boys' children, funny because they waste the money, they go there to have unprotected sex. And when it comes to HIV, AIDS, and other diseases, the rate are always high in money concessions. Always high in money concession. You go to Putu, you go to Gorin Verena, all the places, all the money concession in Liberia, the rates of those things are very high. Because those people leave their family home, we don't know what they're bringing. They use money to. So if you go into the communities as a citizen, just be careful who you're going around. Because whoever they coming around there is most likely is an open evidence that people who come into those places, they are migrant workers. The rate of HIV is high. The rate of hepatitis is high because those people come with a condition. I'm not trying to stereotype South Africa, but no South Africans still. If South Africans are coming in the concession areas, we know HIV and think that's something simple in South Africa, Uganda, those places, the East Africa countries. You know, people are coming to come work there for years. They will get one of your daughters, one of our citizens, one of our sisters to be with them in the meantime. They'll be here. Do we know their status? No. So they do the damages, leave the children, leave the kids, leave the people. We went to Corridor University, and a lot of our men born in Corridor left their children there by their mothers. It's just a simple example. So all the money concessions out there, as a popular person, I'll tell you, let's be careful with the money concessions because people who are coming living in a family who don't know what they are bringing, and those risks of the thing are very, very hard. We find that, oh, my daughter get one white man, my daughter get one concession person in came out, or this and that. You don't know what's happening. It's obvious that money concession, that's just how they are.
Elio, I beg you before you go, I wanted to understand the issue of the water. You said the water in the concession area are being contaminated, and the community is using, I don't know which type of water they are using, whether it's the screen line water, like we call the running water, what is it what they are using. But I want to know if, because most time in Liberia we use the well, what we call pump. So if the community is using the pump, is it still affected? Is the water still affected? And what type of water that would need to be used from the community? If they are even giving pipe-borne water, how would the solution be found? That's the solution. What could be?
Thank you. So I went to Camp 4. I went to Camp 4. Camp 4 had a pump, hand pump. I went to Liagbara. Those are areas that get pump. Those are places that have pump. I told Liagbara pump water from there. That was the one example. I went to Camp 4. I took the pump. Those two areas, those two hand pumps have high level of lead and arsenic in it. So that's why I said that there we cannot promise that you should dig a well unless we do a further study. But those two areas in 2014, 2013, when I collected samples, I didn't just collect water from the running screen, no, because I want to be balanced. So I took samples from Camp 4 hand pump, right on your left when you're going up. I went to Liagbara, but I took the hand pump and also tested, and those things came up to have chemicals in it. So, like I said, right now, silver water and silver in San Nicolas, the best thing is to see how we can run the pipe, possibly straight.
I don't know what is happening to our guest network, but folks, if you're just joining us this evening, you are listening to the HITAL program here. On the HITAL, we say dialogue and not confrontation. We say words and not bullet. Tonight, we are in conversation with Mr. Eddie Miawe Fangalo, a public health expert, and we are discussing his recent, let's say, his assessment or his research study on the affected or the mining communities in Nima County. Again, be with us.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry. So let me. In Lugbe, we did a hand pump. So we look out for arsenic, we look out for cadmium, we look out for lead, and we look out for mercury. So we got to know that arsenic was above the WHO permissible level. Lead was also above it, and then mercury was very, very high in Lugbe. So Lugbe, it was a hand pump that we took, not even the screen. Right? And even in Makinto, we also took the same samples. All of them also have high level of arsenic, also have cadmium in it, also have lead, and also have mercury. So let's go to Zolowi. Let me just quickly to that. So also went to Bapa. So all those things say get all the places that we went, and all the things were all. Then we went to underground groundwater. So for underground water, also they have high level of arsenic, high level of lead, mercury, and cadmium as well. Surface water, what we call the screen, they also had the same thing. All of them were all high. Yeah, so even the pH, that's the acidity or the alkaline level of that. They're all high in those areas. So, like you said, Sarah, the only thing I can recommend is not to say we are boring home because you want to bow, we gotta get a drawing machine, the drawing machine. Because the drawing machine can go about 100 feet. But now one person here go deep pump, put 10 cover, 4 cover. Most of those samples we took there are still those places I can show you where we collected all those samples. The hand pumps are all in Macento there. I mean, not Macento, where to Canfo, where to Luke Bay, all the places we went there and collected. So what we did when we got to the place, we asked, what is the source of drinking water? They show us them, we go there and collect sample and carry them. So Canfo, her hand pump, it was her. Luke Bay, her hand pump, it was her. Bapa, people were drinking from just that water that crossing on the mount, going the other way down there. When before you clean the Bapa hill, they were drinking water from there. They were washing with those samples from there. We went up the mount with those samples. So everywhere they show up, we went there and everything. So I cannot safely say that the hand pumps are even safe. There's a need to carry real drilling in that place. And when you drill 100, 200 feet, you have to test the water for those chemicals and see whether the chemicals have gone all the way to that depth or to that length. But as it stands, the hand pumps at a time, I don't think so. Whoever carry hand pump there, I think that's a need to do better. Because I haven't seen anything that have been done to even curtail those things 10 years ago. So there's no need to say, oh, we'll get hand pump. And I've even heard especially without saying they are distributing hand pumps in that place. So those are most of the things that I'm aware of them. Because I don't know if somebody can say from the core that a segment that has carried on some hand pump project. I don't know, maybe we can say that they are carrying hand pump project in Bapa, they are carrying hand pump in Macento. I haven't heard that anyway. So that is they know that hand pump not even safe stay in that place. But now pump should be all over the place. But nothing. So the length at which that chemicals have gone, I think it's beyond just hand dog well where we just put hand pump. Otherwise, by now, one of the project, the easier project will be a similar bailing pumps in the different community or the conventional pumps. I'm talking about the real drilling pumps. So I would not suggest that we.
So Edio,
Yeah.
sorry that who are not dominating the other panelists. Sorry.
Go ahead. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
What with all of those recommendations for me in my mind, I know you have read the previous MDA and now the meter is going to 25 years, and you that have done assessment for that place. Why are being meter, pick for? I know I want to go beyond even the health side. Why is you connected to the health side? Why are being the pick for, all the challenges by the NEMA people that could be your recommendation besides only the health, sector or the health side? And what would be the new recommendation? Because most time, like for you now, I think using you as an example will also be, a hands-on, can we say a hands-on, I call to Mita now because you were sponsored by Mita, and then upon your return, you have been one of the face, that could be presented to Mita as one of the citizens of of the concessional county. Or on a side note, based on your research now, you are being put on a side because you done the research and publish. So my point to you now is what, like the question I asked, what could be the way forward? Why they are not done, and what could be the way forward now in the new in the new MDA, whether financially, health wise, and environmental wise, and how can we benefit as a country or country?
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think for me, one of the things that in the living condition of even the staff or those in the community is something that has not changed. We saw most of those buildings, they're still dilapidated. People are still building tanks. People are still living in tanks and so forth. So I think that has not actually been the good side of Senegal for the past, I think, 20 to 23 years or so. And also, we are not actually experiencing a dividend of having one of the world giant steel company in Nima. But because we think we are not really getting a fair share. I don't know if the social development fund is going to I got it to Nima cover. I don't know how it is, but I heard from this show the last time that a seminar takes the portion of it for the federal community, they decide on who to implement and then how to disperse it. I think what Master will brought that up. And I think that is not even fair because that money could have will even help the people on how to take, because that's why they put that money aside for the affected communities. I think that those are the issues, or those are the thought the people had. Okay, those people have a lot of issues they are going through as compared to other counties or other towns or so villages, but they put this money aside to be able to help them. But I think because people don't have the findings, people don't have the knowledge on what's happening. Now the money is being given to whoever NGO, what they want to do, the bidding different things that matters to the people. And third, I think also that uh the scholarship that we went on, I think there's a need for NIMA or the three counties to have some quota, to have a level or seating for how many people go on that scholarship. But if I share the listing, so far I have the 18 I have, you only find only 4 NIMAs. That is from 2014 to 2017. Only 4 of us that went. We have Emmanuel Dossier, who did geochemical something. I think he's the dean of the Nima University there. We have one Doki who did agronomy. So we are only 4. But other countries, the Bon had about 6. We have people from Sino who benefited. We also have people from Basa. So if you see the list, you see Basa is dominating. What about Bon? And then Nima is also the lowest. So I think there's a need to also say, okay, this. If you want to send 10 people, try to divide among the three, even it's for Liberia, but specifically try to give it to those people. And when those people come back, let them be able to get within the system. But one of the things that actually happening to is that people who are into those areas, people who are in managerial levels, don't have that qualification, right? So for that reason, no one, for example, let me get the fun fact. When I came, I went to the hospital. I had the public health, specifically health service planning and management, and also epidemiologist. So when I went, I met one papa that I won't call a name for confidentiality issue. When I went, I thought that I introduced myself. I said, this is what I did and this and that. People said, my son, I've been doing the work for so long. So anybody who will try, I will kill him. When the day I left from that hospital, I never went to a certain matter anymore. And that was the end. I never discussed anything.
You scared?
And I don't. He told me in office, he said I will kill the person because I've been doing it for long.
Wow.
He was a manager for the hospital at the time. So also, I think I've been seeing some argument around one Jara Sama as a man manager. And one of our colleagues who came, they master in mind on Takwa in a place. The guy came, they throw it out. Because this person who is a man manager had just BSc. I mean, he got BSc, get AA. So how will the person accept you a master to come and work on it? Infiltrating. So there's a way to actually look at the management there, the people who are there, even though they believe in, system where people go to experience. There's a need to see exactly how to. The person who is coming doesn't have the experience. Grow them up. You invest in them a lot. Try to put in there. Even I feel this is a loss to the company. If you see the money they spend behind me, they could negotiate with me. Instead of you paying somebody 1,500, say, okay, you went to school income, we'll take money for you small. Yeah, it's a loss to them. It's a loss to them. We'll take money small for you. So, but you give, you let me. I'm going from place to place here, and you tease our document for 2 years. You took our document for 2 good years. On what basis? That you said we will be employed. But if you take my document, let me know I'm not going to even get employment in 2 years. And for which that what happened to most of us. Got the document come from the university straight to a certain matter. Without me getting copy. So you come and say, I get master. Where your credential? Where's the attestation? Nothing at all. But because we don't talk in this country, because people feel that, oh yeah, they go by normally say, oh Eddie, the people was scholarship, gave free scholarship again. I said, go by now, but me. But who goes tomorrow? So I think that a lot of things we need to really sit on it and make it reliable and make it think that tomorrow, the way Lamco let people say, oh, Lamco days, we used to do that. Let us be able to say during the during a certain amount of days, those are XYZ. Unfortunately, we are not seeing it. So I think that's the right thing to say, but I think those are many things and to do that will be allowed to go back to go and serve the people. We know them, they know us. But unfortunately, to my brother, when politics join into it, because some people are seeing other people as target. Once they know when you get it, we have been dating for long. We have been pressing for job for ourselves. We have heard a lot of things. Even as I speak, I will tell you, I didn't do it last time. I'm going through a drug crisis right now. I'm on 1 year since somebody removed me illegally. I'm fighting alone. Even all the lawmakers and people talking about nobody has shown up because maybe people might see you as a threat. Now, when you get something tomorrow, you wait your hand tomorrow. But some we are researchers, we don't care. But I think there's a need for the mentality to change. There is a need to really see a mental. I hope people will listen this time around to change things. Otherwise, another 25 years will come because our ages now by 25 years will be holding stick. I'm telling you right now, at 25 years to or 30 years to it, I'm almost 70. So why we are believing nothing at all. So I think there's a need to hold this in. Let's remove the older people, the elders who have already lived their lives. The lawmakers have lived their lives. So there's a need for to have younger faces to this thing that we can think. So people should be thinking whether MDN should be people from 15 up to maybe we can even put a quota of age that people should be hearing this thing. But for example, people who somebody who 50 years already making it to put in on the MDM, what will they do for us? Nothing. Go ahead and say, okay, 25 years, 10 years past, I go already, I gone on ground. What happened? Nothing happened. I think that a lot of things we need to do in the advocacy. Let's bring the advocacy group, but let's be blunt to them. That this is our time. This is the generation. I think there's a need for us to see how we can spearhead this thing. Let's tell the truth. They have young people who, if we add 30 years to their ages, they are going to still be, good looking, or they'll not be, even though young people die, but I'm just on the average. They put the people in front instead of still using the same elder people who will sit there and say, boy, somebody give me 100,000, I eat it. In 10 years, I'll be gone. I don't care what can come out of that. So I think that things we need to do differently. And those are the things that mean then look at this from our perspective. We're not looking at xenophobia thing, but in Nimashu, we have the highest share of the SDF. What have we done with it? Can we say have people get the dream passing? So they're making 1 million, someone making 500,000. Why? Just trying to pass. But we that they were making 1.5 with all the different health hazard, with all the unemployment rate, with everything. And people feel we are not educated about it, but now Nima is doing well that we get some people who are educated. So why can't people? I don't know much about matter. I think there's a need to actually overhaul. But if we already have people who don't have that qualification in our post right now, so remove them and put people there, it's a threat. Like I said, I share my phone file with you. And that's how things will be. A lot of people just ringing. We get about logo. We get a lot of like Liberians who got procurement, master in procurement and supply chain. I get a list I'll share with you to even take it there. That all of them need that the contacts are all there. But either way, I'm so glad for the opportunity to have gone to come back. I think I've taken all the recommendations. I'll share. Even if you just go online, you tap money, Eddie Fangado, everything, the research, the findings that was published by Foreign Policy Africa will come out. All the research I've done, even the whole thesis, you'll see everything online as well. So I publish a lot. Even the paper and seminar, I've been publishing a lot of other things. Once you put money Eddie Mary Fangado, you get everything and then you can read further. But for my thing, so I think those are the things we need to do for the new MDA. But I know we have lived, we have seen, we might not be around the table when the time comes. We just hearing the news. Just the last time from Senator went there, you had to raise it before they start going live. Who knows? We might not be around. We might not even know how it will pass, and they will be left to live with the effect of our children to live. And that is most of the children are even there. So I think yes, those are just my thing that we can do new in a new MDA when you can give all the time. I hope so, but I know it's another thing again for us to say the thing again and say, oh, I think go already. God will know that 25 you're going to finish by this time. Remember 2004, 2005 when the Mercy Picker came. We were 6 months more. Yeah, we are now we're talking about 25 and I'm finished. Do you know what?
Thank you.
We can't even show anything much in the over the 25 years. But people take this thing and even the auditing thing, they talking, nothing comes from LA. So yeah.
Eddie, thank you for being here tonight. It
Thank
was
you.
a great show with you. In 2 minutes, give us your parting comment, Chief. Eddie, are you hearing me?
Okay, so I think we have talked a lot, but overall, I really appreciate this platform. And yes, are you hearing me too? Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead.
We
Hello?
hearing you. We hearing you.
We are hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you so Yeah, so thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate the platform that was shared with me today. And I think this is the way to go. Everything is not about politics. Let's try to change things around and start growing research, start growing people that will think outside of politics. Because the way to go now is to see how we can, teach people on the way they can live their life out of politics, and see how we can also make people to know the actual truth. So I really appreciate this platform. I came across it before, and this is my first time coming. With everything we discussed, I really, really appreciate that. Thanks to Sewa for the invite, and also even though on short notice, but I'm always prepared to discuss anything. And also thanks to Sales Lorena as well. She's also a public health person. Thanks to Shadrach and also the host Jion. I know this is not a normal thing when it comes to politics, but in terms of any health issue, in terms of anything related to research, in terms of anything, I want to be maybe part of the show. I can even be one of the panelists as well to discuss some critical things. And I also hope that we bring other people, even if you want to invite whoever from Islam Meta, I'm willing to face them here. You want to even invite Nya, Alexander Nya can come here, Depuzu, all those people are calling their names. Anyone when it comes to seminar, just call on me. I will come and see it and sit with them and discuss it. But I'm very overwhelmed to be here, and I don't want for this to be the only time that I'll be invited. Anytime, call on me, and I'll also be the big chipping in at times to self and discuss it. So overall, thank you so much. Thanks to the people in Nima. And what I say here is not solely blaming a matter, but I think the issue was there before, and based on the assessment, they they know about those things. And then for the past 20 some more years, I know those issues have been added up. So we're just saying that if you knew the issue, you got to mitigate them before you bring another one in. So we can also blame them for the chemical spillage, also the contamination of the water sources, but also can date it back to Lamco. But I think they are the one right now, and they need to do something and do it as fast. So thank you so much. We are waiting to go to the county, whatever communication, whatever radio station, we can appear on it and tell the people exactly what we're saying. So not to say much. I really appreciate this, and thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you so much.
Ellie, congratulations on your wedding the other day. Wow. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you so
congratulations.
much.
Actually,
Thank you
All
for
right,
being.
thank you.
Thank you
Still all
for.
right, Ida?
no, not in time currently.
Okay, thank you so much. Good night.
Okay,
Good night.
we'll talk after the
Okay.
show.
So Veteran Magazine is in the back. Um, and the veteran, we already done. Can you join us tomorrow because we are about to do analysis. But let me
So
let me
then
bring
you
him.
can maybe you want to do an analysis. Maybe.
Yeah, let me bring him. Ah, the veteran look great tonight. Anyone experience the changes?
Oh,
You see the veteran, he looking handsome tonight.
What?
Veteran, you look really handsome tonight.
I've always been handsome, my man.
Don't think I hear everybody to you.
Before you continue, we should know your statement.
What?
But veteran, it's good having you on the show. Even though you joined late, I think maybe you were following, so let's give you the opportunity to have your take on the guests, and then
John, someone background. I don't know. It's running.
Shadrach, please need your match.
You were talking, I'm not getting you.
I'm saying you follow the show, I think, but we had Eddie Fangalo here discussing some health issues from his research about the affected communities, the mine affected communities in Nima, and maybe you could have your 1 or 2 cents on the issue and have your parting comment in 3 minutes.
Well, sorry, I haven't been part of the show of late. The cold giving me a tough time. We changed the season, so it's kind of like it's crazy here, man. It's getting cool, and and I'm the first victim. I just uh, enter and I monitor his closing, but I was not fortunate to go along with his discussion. I really, 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 really wanted to be, because when you talk about health and then AML, I mean, it's something that warrants discussion, and it's something that should concern all of us, because health is life. And it's part of some of the things that we've talked in the past, and many have been talking, and it's part of the reason some of us think that whatever method is remitting to Nema County in the form of social contribution should be managed in a way that will play into the future of the county. Because when you look at some of the multinational companies, the agreements and so forth, one thing people can be very happy about, especially government actors, is remittances coming to government, which will either be used for development or otherwise. But no one can, think about the consequences associated with some of these multinational operations. And it's one thing to start mining operations, but there's yet another thing to talk about the decommissioning phase and stuff. So it's all something that must be taken seriously. I'm glad that professionals like Ellie and others are coming out and providing enlightening opportunity for our people. And I'm glad that the EPA is becoming very much proactive. I listened to the executive director talking about the noise pollution, which is a serious issue in our community in Liberia, Monrovia, churches all over, entertainment center all over, all sort of activities going on, even in residential communities, with no regard to the impact it creates. So that's a typical Liberian thing, and that's a typical Liberian story. But as we move along, um, the awareness will be there, and people who have gotten the expertise will join hands to help. And I'm glad Lorena is on the show, because they are into health, and Elite too coming. And so we look forward to not only being political, uh, diving into professional arena, and being able to unearth some of the things that are happening within our community, within our society, and how we can take cue from there to prevent uh, some ugly happenings. I know today people will be talking about politics because fire begotted President Weah's house, but no one has taken cue to the construction process and the electrification of the house and all the associated things that can make the home prone to fire or resist fire. So there are a lot that Liberia is here to talk about. I would have loved to really be a part of the show, to listen to his research and to be able to make some scientific queries that will, allow him to speak broadly on some of the things and what he was looking for, what are the findings, what recommendations, and what we can do using his research as state actors to be able to agenda, new direction, new thinking. But we look forward to seeing him again, or we look forward to seeing other health officials, because typically multinational company comes and you talk about environmental studies, stakeholder consultation, stakeholder engagement. We have been fortunate to have sat on some of the stakeholder partners in Liberia, and the process will interest you to look more political than scientific, and bulk of reports that come from different institutions that are supposed to be mitigating environmental issues and concern, health issues and concern. You know, when you look at the way reports are cut and paste and no real time work to address real time issues in Liberia, it's quite crazy. But he's done his part, and his will provide a leeway to other scientific minds who will come after to do something quite similar or dissimilar in addressing different parameters, in addressing different concerns, and we look forward to it. So it was a good show. I want to say thank you to you all for being there always and making sure that our people have some pieces of information to rely on. Thank you.
Thank you, veteran. Thank you so much. Shadrach, let's give you the opportunity now to give your analysis in your parting comment in 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Junior. Hello. I listened to our brother, research results and what he has passed through to put forth the, how they call it, study outcome to the company and the frustration. I said that I felt somehow disappointed in our system, not just with ArcelorMittal, but our leadership structure of the country, how sometimes it takes issue to be. So, how can you encourage a citizen to go to school? Then when they come with result, even if you don't take that to the foliage or do some application of the research results, so that the other people who come in after for research, they'll be encouraged to know to study more. So my disappointment not actually with ArcelorMittal, they are company, they're here for profit, and so definitely if our leadership does not count on them and hold their feet to fire, they will all play with us. We as a country, our leaders, the top maker, the executive, and the judicial branch of government, they're supposed to make things happen for the citizen. So the editor he reached out to almost entities responsible to make this happen. Was that everything fell on a deaf ear? Ministry of Health, EPA, our lawmakers from the county, and you need the rest. So it kind of frustrating aspect that one of the reasons that actually discourage those who have the ability or the strength to go further with other studies and coming with funding. So you can encourage the society. Other countries doing it is not magic, but it's by support, encouragement, motivation through the application of what a person has learned. You see, you think that Eddie will keep making research, bringing out bringing out findings, but then nothing is happening for him. Research comes to money, resources, time. But then when you get the results, which you think is accurate, but then no action from the stakeholders to implement what you have devoted your time to work for almost 5-6 years or 2-3 years. It's kind of frustrating. That's where my disappointment is. But again, I think the second amendment, with the ArcelorMittal, with the involvement of Senator Antoine and others, knowledgeable people that massively them with no geologists, I think they will do better. They will come on ArcelorMittal to fulfill some of these things, so that our people in our area being affected, so that they can have some release of living in a good environment for safety and other adequate measures to be put in place. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Lorena, let's hear you.
So I want to say a big thank you to Eddie. So if you have ever done research, you will know that it's a tedious work, a lot of thinking, a lot of reading, doing literature review, and structuring your questions, getting sampling, all those things. But sadly, Liberia is we're not really interested in research. That's the reason why in most of our universities, one student graduating today will do a thesis, copy and paste of somebody who graduated 2 years ago, and next year somebody else will come and do the same thing, just change the name, change date, and change art anymore. Because we're not interested in research. We are not attaching value to research. And so we don't know that it is used, it could be used to answer questions, it could be used to bring solutions to problems. So people don't really care. So I understand, I understand why it is. In June, I did an article and published it, and people will read it, will be asking me questions. And then they're not asking questions to understand that they didn't understand. You sure you went to the other school? You sure you went to the other midwifery school to get all that their statistics that the thing they were asking? Then they were asking me, and I was giving, but I took my time. I was giving the feedback because I know that it is kind of new. So the thing when I said people were still using books that are dated 15 years back, and I was putting sources. They thought I was just making a story. It's not strange. It's not ugly in the ears, but that's a reality. Students using books that dated 15 years back. So when other people using the newest edition, was I want using the edition I was doing those times, was still using in schools. And so, like I said to him, I hope he just start the process over, get a copy to EPA, because the EPA then, or the director there, is a different person now. Copy to the county administration, copy to the NEMA caucus. Just start from there. Maybe even to the executive. See, this is why our people are going through. These are why our people are going through. So that they can see how they can, as ASNA method is requesting for for extension of 30 years, so that those things can be able to inform decision. Whether, because people say, oh yeah, ASNA method has started building the houses, so they are started renovating the houses. So what about common drinking water? What about the health impact they have on our families? So I just want to say thanks to Eddie, and thanks for the person who invited him. That was a great show, a great discussion, and the research was done years back, but nothing has been done because nobody cares. It's not affecting somebody else directly, so they don't care. But I hope he start over. Everybody on the show can get our input, can whatever we able to push for some answer, because it is about NEMA. It is about the country that we say we so dearly love. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Siawate, take us home, Chief.
Thank you, Gian, for the motivation, and thanks to Eddie for the appearance tonight. And thanks to Sadra and the lone female on the show, and also Frederick Maverson Davis. I mean, he's well knowledgeable to this topic. That's why I was telling Eddie, I think they had to linger, on this issue. Most time when Liberians now, the society are actually being engulfed by politics, so the kind of serious information when it's coming out, you don't see influx of people following it. It's actually important, but I know the show will be followed by a lot of people. Though it was followed, we want to thank our follower too. But it was actually impactful because, if you even go at the mount, most of these concerns Senator Twine raised the last time, I think Eddie too is also on that path. And like I said, I think Big Brother Maverson too is actually knowledgeable to that, because some of us, the question we were asking was just, from our little, research and stuff we were asking, and, from what we are seeing, and, concession area, because I remember we work around Dubai, Kino, Papa, Zorowe, all these regions, and we know how our people are living. But the greater responsibility, like I said, is with the government and is with us, because from what I've seen from the research, I think it also requires the issue of a WASH commission, EPA, LANSMA, Ministry of Health, and also water and sewer, because you cannot contaminate the water you leave, and then at the end of the day, and the community gets affected. So the discussion is there, but the greater responsibility is us as a citizen. Like these few days, we witnessed those guys going, what assessment were they going to do? Is it a health assessment? What funding are they going to bring to the Liberian people? What? So I mean, the complexity of Liberia problem is too much. So I mean, these technicians, I think it's important that people who are knowledgeable in the public health sector, environmental sector, the extractive industry, that got knowledge to that can go together, to give our lawmakers, a better knowledge of how the new MTA can be restructured based on their contribution from an informed standpoint, because what is happening for me is actually touching. That the last time I witnessed Mita being I say a well in Yekepa, in Kenwat. Saw our friends, one of our friends works there. We saw them, carry on the presentation to the community. Only because Senator Tuayen have raised those points of recent. It is only because the senator is raising the point. So now, if you see, even when the president of Gorin, they start to reason some of these areas that are on the concessional area, putting dirt on the ground and all of that. So for me, there are a lot of things Liberia had to do. It's not only unique, to Nima, but it's also everywhere in our country. It requires the step of our legislature, because all of what we say, you can even read the last document. If it is not supported by executive and the legislature, I mean, at the end of the day, your document remain a mere paper you carry home. So we want to say thank you to Eddie for your appearance tonight. He did extremely well. And those are topics we need to also engage the experts that are involved. Actually, I was already hoping for people like Marvelson to appear tonight, but he came late. But I know, I'm pretty sure they will link up, and that information will be pushed to Senator Tuayen and the rest. And is good that he comes from a district where the representative is also one of the leaders. He's in leadership, and of the legislature, Honorable Mercier and that of Honorable Nekege. So thanks for your appearance tonight. Thank you, Jion. I think good night. You did extremely well. Thank you.
The guests are tomorrow.
Come. Jion, you having network problem.
The guests for tomorrow.
Yeah. The guest for tomorrow, we got Onoyeke Sekui for tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
so-
guys so much for being here tonight. Hopefully we'll be here again tomorrow, as always,
Thank
to
you,
discuss
sir.
issues one anima.
Okay. Thank you.